Okay, I'm Henry Strickland. I'd like to introduce Temporal Logic, a system called D, studied by Arthur Pryor and Robert Bull. I have not seen temporal logic used in recreational maths yet, and so I'd like to introduce the system. It's easy enough that anybody can understand it. I've tried it with a bunch of kids, and compelling enough to make interesting puzzles. And my slides are on the web at yak.net/D as in Delta. There's only 4 symbols to learn, so pay attention because you're going to need these 4. The letter R means rain on the day in question. By default, it rains today. The circle means tomorrow. Whatever follows the circle is true tomorrow. Diamond means eventually, at least once. Whatever follows the diamond is true at least once, either today or tomorrow or someday in the future. And finally, the box means forevermore. Whatever follows the box is true today and tomorrow and every day into the future. Here's my mnemonics, how to remember them. The circle looks like a point, like a big point, and that point in time is tomorrow. A diamond has many points, and any of those points, any day will do. And a box looks like a calendar covering all days, starting today. This is how I visualize rainy day stories. Each line of ones and zeros is a story. 1 means rain, 0 means no rain. The first digit on each line is whether it rains today. The second digit is whether it rains tomorrow. The third digit is the next day, and so forth into the future. For example, it rains today. That matches the first story and the last story because both of those start with a 1, meaning rain today. Tomorrow it rains matches the second and the fourth story because they have a 1 in the second position, meaning rain tomorrow. Eventually it rains matches all of those stories except for the third because it doesn't have any rainy days at all. And rain forevermore matches only the last story, in which it rains today and every day. We're going to allow the usual logical operators. I found a bug in my presentation last week with a niece. She didn't know that OR was inclusive to a mathematician, that both A and B can be true. But we've got and, or, not, and implies. All right, here's an example putting things together. Rain and tomorrow rain. Of these 4 stories, that only matches the last because it starts with 2 ones. Rain and tomorrow not rain matches only the first one because it starts with a 1, 0. Tomorrow, tomorrow rain and tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow rain. Tomorrow, tomorrow means the day after tomorrow, and the other one means the day after that. So we need a 1 in the third and the fourth position, so it matches the first story and the last story. Eventually, it will rain forevermore. These are where it gets interesting. It may rain off and on for a while, but someday in the future, or even today, it'll rain and it'll never quit. And that's different from the next one. Box diamond R means forevermore, it will eventually rain. No matter how far in the future we go, it'll always rain again. If our story is that it only rains on prime day numbers, that story would match because no matter how far we go, there's always another prime. Some more complicated ones. Eventually, it will rain at least 2 days in a row because eventually it rains on that day and on the next day. Forevermore, rain implies tomorrow not rain. That means it can never rain 2 days in a row. Forevermore, rain implies tomorrow rain. If it ever rains, it'll never quit. And some things for you to try to render with expressions. It rains only every other day. Whenever it rains exactly 2 days in a row. Never 1, never 3. And I'm going to end with some real-world examples from the Game of Thrones. Tomorrow, eventually W, and not W today. Winter is coming. From Morton Salt. It's always the case that R implies P. When it rains, it pours. If it doesn't rain, they don't tell you. And from Genesis 8, we have God's covenant to Noah. It will never happen that it rains today and tomorrow and the day after that for up to 39 circles. That I should have been a superscript of the circle. Circle repeated I times. Starting today, it will never rain 40 days in a row. And search terms and other information is available on the net at yak.net/D as in Delta.